Hi, I'm Marcus Hutzel, and if you're like me and bought the Nomatic Peter McKinnon camera backpack for a decent chunk of change, but did not get the accessory case or any of the other accessories because either you didn't want to spend more money on the accessories and organizers that, kind of go with the backpack, or if those accessories and organizers just didn't work for your needs, much like they didn't work for mine, then I have an alternative organizer that I use in place of the Nomatic version of the camera accessory case that will save you a bit of money, and that's this, the Maxpedition Skinny Pocket Organizer. Maxpedition makes a ton of different organizers and backpacks and other similar equipment geared towards the, tactical kind of military style world of accessories and everyday carry items, and they make quality gear as well that can stand up to abuse, which is why I have quite a few different organizers and pouches from Maxpedition. And I found that the skinny organizer actually works really well for my needs instead of the Nomatic accessory case, because, I also spent all my money on the backpack itself. Not a lot of budget for extra accessories. But seriously, if you had the Peter McKinnon backpack, you know how much it costs, and I just didn't think another $50 for the accessory case was necessary for me, because even though the Nomatic gear is great and the accessory case looks like a quality case, I ultimately thought it just didn't have enough organization for how I use things and really didn't work for my needs. This Maxpedition organizer does have a lot more flexibility for me and works great for what I need it to do. And what I need it to do is hold a lot of smaller items that need more places to go, to be held down, and to stay in place when you open up the case. So again, this is the Maxpedition Skinny Pocket Organizer, although the pocket portion of the title can be misleading because this thing isn't fitting into many people's pockets. Maybe a large cargo pocket on your pants, but probably not a regular pocket. Pockets aside, it's a great organizer pouch. They call it the skinny organizer because many of their other organizers in this range are wider and more squarish, like this other model, the beefy pocket organizer. This one and many of the others in this series are wider, more square, and may not fit as well into a backpack. So I chose the skinny organizer because it's longer and, skinnier, and fits in my Nomatic backpack more easily. I actually have two of this model. One is for my camera accessories, and I also keep a second one in my backpack as my first aid and overnight kit. But that's for another time. So why did I choose this Maxpedition Skinny Organizer over the Nomatic accessory case? Well, number one, it's cheaper. The Nomatic accessory case is $50. The Maxpedition Skinny Organizer is about $23 to $25, so almost half the price. Number two, it's about the same size as the Nomatic accessory case, slightly different in shape. It's about the same height, but not as deep and not as wide, but it's roughly the same size. The Nomatic accessory case measures 8.25 inches long by 5.5 inches wide by 3.75 inches deep. The Maxpedition Skinny Organizer measures 8 inches long by 4 inches wide by 2.5 inches deep. But looking at the Nomatic accessory case, it looks like the Maxpedition Skinny Organizer is still a bit more skinny than the Nomatic accessory case, which means it can take up less space in your bag and leave room for other camera and audio tools and toys. Number three, it's flexible. It can kind of shrink down if you don't have a lot in it. It can also flex a bit if you need to really stuff it full since it's a nylon Cordura style fabric. The Nomatic accessory case is rigid, semi-hard case, and can't flex or expand if you need to stuff it, so it's kind of a fixed size. And it's the same size even if it's empty. So if you don't fill it up, it still takes up the same amount of space in your bag. The Maxpedition Skinny Organizer can shrink, crush, and squish down if you need it to, if you just don't keep a lot in it. And since I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to put in the accessory case if I got it, I didn't want to have any wasted space. Number four, for me, the Maxpedition has way more interior organizational ability than the Nomatic accessory case. Inside the Skinny Organizer, there are lots of elastic bands, two larger interior pockets, one that has a zipper, some interior loops to clip items to, like a Peak Design Allen wrench that has a hole for a keyring. It has a D-ring for hanging other accessories, an exterior mesh pocket, and just lots of places to really keep your stuff organized. The Nomatic case is kind of an empty shell with the option to put in some dividers and a non-closable interior pocket under the lid. Not a big deal, but I like the interior of the Maxposition organizer a little better. It gives me a lot more places to really organize my gear with its multi-layered elastic bands, and it just holds what I need it to hold better, for me. overall, the Maxpedition organizers just have a lot more functionality for how I like to store my gear. Now for the cons. Number one of the main cons is obviously the fact that the Maxpedition case is a soft case, so it's not going to be as protective as the Nomatic Accessory case, depending on what you keep in it. The Nomatic Accessory case does have that hard outer shell, so it's probably going to protect something like a GoPro or your lens filters or other more fragile items better than a soft case like the Maxpedition. For me, I don't keep a lot of items in here that I would consider fragile. This case is mostly cables and non-electronic items, so I kind of wanted some flex to it and didn't need it to be a hard shell. Number two, the Nomatic case can hold larger items than the Maxpedition skinny organizer. Obviously, the Nomatic case is a bit deeper and wider, and since it is an open interior, you can store larger items in it, like, again, maybe a GoPro, maybe a small lens, or a larger battery charger, or even a laptop charger. Unfortunately, this isn't going to fit in this very well, depending on what you have in here. And if it matters to you, the Maxpedition organizers obviously don't visually fit into the Nomatic line. They look different, they're made of different material. I personally don't really care about the look of something that's stored inside my bag because this works so well for me. So, take it for what it is. Really, I think those two things are the only cons of a softer shell organizer case like the Maxpedition, but it works very well for me, keeps my cables organized, is more flexible to fit into smaller spaces, and it was cheaper. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to share with you an alternative to maybe save you from giving Nomatic all of your money, since you may have spent all of your available funds on the backpack itself, although I also now have several of their smaller backpacks because their gear so far is really awesome. I highly recommend Nomatic as a brand. They make great stuff, and no, this isn't sponsored by Nomatic, I just own and like their stuff. But that accessory case just wasn't for me. Yet. If you want to see what I actually keep in this organizer, and you know you do, I think I'll save that for the next video. So look for it floating around on the YouTubes. That's it. Good luck. Happy organizing. Later.